dairy sector in Europe is facing new problems due to various factors. As a response, the European authorities apply new policies. The EU milk production is growing because of an increase in demand. As the leading exporter of many dairy products, the EU is a major role in the global dairy product. In 2009, the European Union exported 2 million tons of dairy products and expects in 2024 to export 3.4 million tons. For 30 years, production was managed by a quota system which has expired in April 2015. Consequently, we noticed a market liberalization characterized by less intervention of the state, which might increase market instability and price volatility. In order to deal with the rising problems like disappearance of small farmers, environmental issue, the EU member state had to set up some policies such as new quotas, price controls, regulations and subsidies. We find our special reporter Hugo Remy in the forum.
In the dairy sector, family farmers operate in different economic and social contexts, ensuring food security while meeting rising social expectations for food safety, quality and diversity of the food, and thus contribute to smart and sustainable growth. Family farmers nowadays have to face multiple challenges to keep on existing: access to farming resources, markets, environmental and social problems. The role of policies in the European Union is also very important for family farmers. The decreasing level of protection offered by the government, combined with the new economic, environmental and social challenges, results in the disappearance of family farmers, which is a drastic problem in our economy. Negative environmental issues are a consequence of increasing intensity of production. Indeed, the high use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides are the source of various environmental challenges, such as the pollution of groundwater, global warming, and release of carbon dioxide. Bad animal treatment is also a present problem. The dairy cow is the hardest worked of all farmed animals. To enable a constant supply of milk, and many cows are slaughtered in Europe, exhausted and tortured.
It's also not the actual problem created by cattle farms, and to achieve their goal of leaving the farmland with better conditions and with higher productivity than when the operation started, the EU is planning on introducing a series of directives. The first one focused on neutrality, while the second one focuses on enhancement. The first one aims at mitigating already existing negative effects and restoring the farmland to its natural productivity, while the second one aims at improving those farms to achieve higher sustainability. Though larger farms will have higher costs, this will ensure that lower levels of nitrogen are emitted, and it will also help in improving competitiveness for small farms.
Charline, please will explain us the policies applied in the dairy sector. Please, Charline, will you explain us how a quota works?
The dairy quota was one of the measures used by governments in the European Union to intervene in the agricultural market, which provided a national quota at state level and an individual quota for each producer or purchaser. Their purpose was to bring rising milk production under control in order to protect the dairy producers and stop overproduction.
What did the milk quota represent?
The milk quotas were attached to land, and they represented a maximum on the amount of milk that a farmer could sell every year without paying extra taxes or levies. Milk quotas are assets. They can be bought or sold, or acquired or lost. However, there is a market especially for them.
Tell us about the evolution of this milk quota.
The end of the milk quota in the dairy sector allowed farmers the flexibility to expand the production and to profit from the growing extra EU demand for milk products. However, the consequences are mainly negative. The abolition of milk quotas resulted in a lower market price and a reduction for producers' income. Besides, the rise in EU exports after the quota might cause a downturn in world price and have impact on this fragile sector. The quota system was the main policy applied in the EU milk sector.
Applied by the European Union with the CAP reform. Can you please tell us a bit more about it?
The EU dairy market is partly regulated by the Common Market Organization, which consists of the traditional instruments known as the Common Agricultural Policy, which is known as the CAP reform.
So what happened exactly in 2003 for the CAP reform?
In 2003, new and revised CAP measures for the dairy sector were adopted. The most radical component was the switch of some income support out of the market prices into a direct payment for the dairy producers. The aim of this reform was to promote a more market-oriented and more competitive agriculture. The EU intervened in the dairy market using a minimum price, also known as a price floor, to control the price of the dairy products. This was done to increase the income of the farmers producing dairy products. On the diagram right here, you can see that the intervention led to higher prices for consumers. Plus, it encouraged efficiency and the surplus in supply.
So how did the European Union manage to keep prices higher than the market equilibrium?
The European Commission artificially boosted prices by buying up to 139 tons of dairy products, which were paid above the market cost to support the dairy industry. Even though the minimum price created some new problems in the market, it helped with the highly volatile agricultural prices.
So is there any other method used by the EU in order to support the small farmers?
The EU planned to switch from some income support to subsidy. One of my colleagues actually said that we were not anticipating to return to the old days of butter mountains and milk lakes, which is meant to be the surplus. The subsidies that were imposed on the farmers had the effect of lowering the cost of production and increased the supply, which also increased the revenues of the farmers. This policy increased the firm's competitive edge in terms of prices. With subsidies, they are able to cover their costs without making the product unaffordable.
Thank you. That's it for today's news broadcast. See you after the commercials.